If you run a company or manage a team, hiring qualified people quickly can make or break your business. Imagine a position of need going unfilled for weeks or even months because you just can't seem to find the right candidate. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. Indeed sponsored jobs help you stand out and hire fast. With sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates so you can reach the people you want faster. This makes a huge difference. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Plus, there's no monthly subscriptions, no long-term contracts. You only pay for results on your job post. Just in the last minute that I've been talking to you, 23 hires were made on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. Now that is fast. There's no need to wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. Listeners will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/BWN. Go to Indeed.com/BWN right now to support this podcast. Indeed.com/BWN. Terms and conditions apply.
I found out about a very cool performance of John Cage's 433 today. Now, Pit Girl, do you know what 433 is?
I do know what 433 is. You will be unsurprised to learn that someone performed it for the talent show at Nerd Camp.
Yeah, okay, great. What is 433 then?
433 is a classical music piece by a American composer named John Cage. It is 4 minutes and 33 seconds of silence.
Now, the cool thing is that it's been performed several ways on several different instruments with different instrumentations. I've seen it done Latin style, lots of percussion, piano's the traditional. But in one of the original piano performances, there's 3 movements to this piece. It's written in 3 movements. And so you're supposed to close the piano lid between movements to show that you're changing movements. That's a way to signify it. And as long as the movements add up to 433, but then even Cage even said himself that sometimes he didn't even keep a timer. It was more about what the vibes of 433 were, which feels correct. I'm not going to get any arguments here because we don't need to talk about why this is an important piece. If you don't know why, listeners think it's just garbage, think about this concept right here. If I have a piece of music with 10 notes, you call that piece of music, and if I started taking one out and put a rest there, you'd still say it was probably a piece of music. At what point does it cease to be music? That's just the thought experiment you need to go through. Right before he died, 3 years before he died in 89, Cage did this version called 1-3. It was performed in Japan by Cage himself. I'm going to read this little piece here. They asked me to perform the silent piece. A Japanese group was giving a concert in Nagoya. And it was a concert at the time I was given the Kyoto Prize in Kyoto. I said, I don't want to do the silent piece because I thought the silence had changed from what it was and wanted to indicate that. So here's what they did. He came on stage in front of an audience and then put the feedback level of the auditorium space was brought up to the feedback level of the sound system. There was no actual feedback, but you knew you were right on the edge of feedback, which is what our environmental situation is now. I can't begin to describe to you the anxiety of 4 minutes and 33 seconds.
He did the like silent musical art piece version of the fucking Doomsday Clock. I hate this. It's good art, but I hate it.
It makes me anxious.
Yeah, it's like, it feels like what being in my head most days feels like. Where like you have the 2 competing versions of feedback and like which one's going to tip the scale? Like which is the tectonic plate that's going to slip here?
Well, and he describes it as what he thinks our environmental situation is now. And that was in 89. I'd argue that in 2025, that even more so. The concept of playing the piece this way is so chaotic because it adds a whole other level of just right there on the edge of awfulness. Yikes. I think that's a beautiful piece. I kind of wish I can hear it this way. Maybe one of these days we'll put on a performance for the podcast. Who knows? Welcome, everyone, to the Sickos Committee Podcast. This is our podcast for the evening of February 25th, 2025. End of February coming soon. On to March Madness. I didn't realize there are no, just the way the calendar lays out, there are no conference tournaments starting in February. Every once in a while, you usually have one or two, but they all start in March this year.
Yeah, because March 1st is a Saturday.
I mean,
very
it
convenient.
feels deceptive, like how close we are to March. Just
Mhm.
right, because I'm feeling like, okay, like it's February 25th right now, and I
In a
know
week,
February only has 28 days, but it feels weird that March is so close.
And there's no leap day this year.
Yeah, like honestly, it's just messing me up because I have plans this weekend, and
Those are plans in March.
it's just messing me up that I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, surely my plans the first weekend in March aren't this weekend. Nope, they are.
Yep. They are, in fact, this weekend.
I gotta go to the state of Ohio.
Ew.
I'm sorry.
There's a song from a group called Bowling for Soup
Mm-hmm.
called Ohio parentheses come back to
Come
Texas.
back to
Or is it-
Texas. No, it's Ohio. Come back to
There we-
Texas.
Yes,
Because we had a music league in the Discord. We had one round for Ohio State and one round for Notre Dame. So one round for Ohio, one round for Indiana / Catholicism. And one of the songs that placed very highly was Ohio, Come Back to Texas.
I was introduced, Jordan. I am familiar with Bowling for Soup. You did not have to explain who Bowling for Soup is for my benefit, if you
Okay.
did in fact do that.
I did, yes.
1985, the song was popular when I was a youth.
Okay.
And B, I was introduced to Ohio Come Back to Texas by my favorite college roommate. So
I can't begin to describe how many times I've unintentionally seen Bowling for Soup. They just exist in North Texas all the time. They're from Denton. And they just exist around here all the time. So sometimes you'll go to a sporting event and be like, oh shit, that's Bowling for Soup, because you hear 1985 being played. Plus the other stuff, like I know, but yeah, it's always that one.
which band have I accidentally seen the most times?
It's definitely 100% Bowling for Soup. Intentionally, it's a husband-wife folk singing couple out of Ohio, because my wife enjoys that. It's weird. Folks, as always, I am Jordan. With me tonight, I have Pick Girl, Big Sky Bridget, Arthur, theoretically Kamish if his computer updates, but we'll see if he gets there. Pick Girl, how are you?
Commish.
It's Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. And shout out to Kimmich for experiencing something that I experience fairly regularly in my day job, which is his computer deciding to update at the exact wrong time.
Bridget, how are you?
I'm good. I'm thinking about the keyboards in Severance because we were watching the 8 hours of music to refine to video, and a lot of it like shows their workstations, and I'm like, that's a really sweet keyboard. I've never really watched Severance. I have no concept of the scary numbers, but I kind of want to refine data with that keyboard and find the scary numbers now.
Arthur, how are you?
I'm good. How awkward do you guys feel when you buy something and your credit card is like, are you sure?
Oh yeah, I've gotten that plenty of times. I've gotten that with food orders before, which really is the...
Oh,
I intentionally set my credit card to be like, hey, you just spent something at a relatively low threshold. So I do not feel this way, but only because I set the threshold to get a notification at like, oh, you ran your car pretty much all the way down to empty and then put gas in it.
well, I get the notification for everything. I'm talking about like getting text messages, getting emails saying like, was this you? Are you sure about this purchase?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that has only happened to me once, and that was when I was attempting to buy a bootleg Kenny Pickett jersey off DHgate.
It used to do that to me, like buying stuff from Japan, especially when I was buying off auction sites. And like I would either get the call or I would get the text and they'd be like, this you? I was like, look at my purchase history. It's most definitely me.
I mean, for me, it was like I bought one thing and then I immediately bought the second thing that would, of course, be related to the first thing. And the second thing was the one where they're like, I don't know, let's pump the brakes here.
Seems sus.
Yeah. I decided, by the way, so on the last episode, right, we talked about these pants.
Yes.
And I was looking at and I'm still thinking about the pants, but I decided, is this really the best use of $400 that I have? And so I looked far and wide for a better use of $400, and I found one. It's going to be a surprise on a future episode. It will be revealed. I'll call back to this episode and say, like, finally the payoff. But yeah, that was the thing where that was the $400 purchase where my credit card was like, are you sure about that?
I don't know if it's $400, but could it be?
They're covering me in mayo.
Oh my God.
I mean, when we consider the potential like EpiPen costs, I would imagine that would be more than $400.
Yeah, even if you hit your deductible. Anyway, reader, come back when Arthur reveals his prestige.
Next time on Sicko's Committee podcast.
The prestige.
I can tell you right now, it will not be next time. Like this is gonna be. You're gonna have forgotten about this when I bring it back up.
Oh, that's gonna make it even funnier.
Oh, so it's like a Temu thing. You're having to get this from China or elsewhere.
Oh, and he's gonna have to pay de minimis shipping
order.
too.
Bridget, I want you to know that I yelled the prestige so many times in my life.
Oh yeah,
on like tiny random things that aren't interesting at all.
I was just thinking about that from the Bim Bam Olive Garden fettuccine. The way Justin says the prestige is just, it's hardwired into my brain in a way that it probably shouldn't be.
Just imagine me like in that video of Papa John where he says a day of reckoning is coming. Stay tuned.
Oh, Jesus.
And you're real sweaty for some reason.
Listen, I always get sweaty when I podcast.
Not something we needed to know, Arthur, but thank you. We appreciate your vulnerability.
It's because we throw our whole bodies into this thing, listeners. Well, let's talk about some actual college football news. We'll start with some Penn State news.
Must we?
Did you see Pickerel, who was named their assistant quarterbacks coach?
Yes. Trace McSorley will be hitting all of you with a shovel, Daddy. Congratulations.
Penn State got their beautiful boy back. What was that?
It's Trace McSorley coming to hit you with a shovel.
Oh, fuck, he's in my house. Actual answer, I think that is obnoxiously pit boyfriend struggling to get laundry out of the basement.
Okay.
Hopefully he's okay.
He's probably fine.
He's probably fine.
Trace McSorley, Penn State's beautiful boy, is headed back to be assistant quarterbacks coach. Penn State football tweets, home run hire. Welcome home, number 9. I feel like we don't see very often big name player coming back to coach at their home place.
I feel like quarterback is the position that it happens. Like,
yeah,
the quarterback to coaching pipeline is strong.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
did we figure out that it was more quarterbacks than anyone else as head coaches?
I think so. On this note, I do feel compelled to announce that my son, Kenny Pickett, is guest coaching at Pitt for the spring game.
Ooh.
Hey, man, shout out to Pitt for actually having a spring game.
Yeah, anyway.
A lot of schools are too scared.
And our place is having, again, you want to talk about discourse that I hate the most? If we start with, I hate how many people are in the stands discourse, the bottom of this is, I hate how many people go to my spring game discourse. That to me is utter nonsense. I think Dave Doran said at NC State they're not going to have any public spring practices.
Boo.
They're going to just cover all their work with their arms. No one gets to cheat off them. No one gets to look. Don't look at me.
I mean, that has to hurt from like a fan engagement perspective, right? Like,
how else can you take all your kids to a fucking
exactly
college football event
and not feel bad when they leave in the second quarter?
I feel like I don't know.
No,
I'm as a
Arthur,
Pitt fan.
you and I have extremely broken perspectives on college football ticket costs.
It's like just don't take them to the one game a year that people want to go to, and you're good.
Yeah,
Well,
right.
yeah, like that's why we
Tickets
did
are
like
cheap, but that is
yeah.
a benefit that
But even
is
still, it's like you're
rare.
even if you get cheap seats, you're still looking at $100. You're lucky if your kid makes it into the third. And then you're like, okay, what did I spend my money on? Like,
Right.
please remember this for the money that I spent on it.
And I would rather just go to the spring game or go to these like very family friendly events.
Well, I feel like the spring game also just the way it works with the calendar, because if you think about it, right, college football in some senses is a year-round sport and that people want to pay attention to it year-round. Like we can see that there's demand for college football content year-round. But in terms of like from a fan engagement perspective, there's really nothing outside of the season except for the spring game. Like you have your first game of the year in at the end of August. Maybe if you're lucky, you're playing in like a bowl game, a playoff game, something down the line. Then you have what, 8 months or so where there's just nothing. Having
Yeah.
one thing right in the middle of that 8 months, like that works out pretty well, I think. Like honestly, the thing that I like about the spring game is it's just like it's an out of season tailgate, right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Like
Absolutely.
I like to tailgate. I feel like football is really the only thing that I get the opportunity to tailgate. So yeah, put some tailgating opportunity in the middle there.
We could all only be so lucky as to have an excuse to get a little toasty under an overpass in a parking lot in April.
What other things can we tailgate then? Why do we have to limit ourselves?
This is why we need to bring Hanami to the States. We need more cherry trees. We need to sit under the cherry blossoms. We need to have a little picnic, a little tailgate. We need to sit and contemplate the beauty of nature. This needs to happen.
The one thing there, at least in my climate, that is sometimes the exact same weekend as Pitt Spring Game, the peak cherry blossom season
Okay.
up in North Park. So
That's why you pregame, dude.
I guess I don't know. I mean, I did tailgate for a volleyball match in December. So
You can tailgate anything if you believe hard enough.
well, okay, it's not about belief. It's about like having a parking lot, which is the issue. Like football stadiums have parking lots.
Can you be a tailgate by yourself? If you're the only person tailgating, is it a tailgate, or does someone else
I feel
have to
like
be there
you
as
can
well?
do that. And no, like honestly,
Or are you just the guy drinking out of their truck?
I mean, there are events that other people tailgate at that I don't, just because like I'm driving a long way to get there and I'm usually by myself, right? Like there's a lot of tailgating at the Indy 500, but like
Yes.
I am not partaking because it's like I've driven here all the way from Pittsburgh. Like I don't have the infrastructure to do this, and I'm, I gotta get into see the race, right? But like, there's other excuses. I just feel like if you're a football program, like you should want some fan engagement opportunity, because then, like outside of the spring game, there's nothing.
Also, jumping back a step, like respectfully, Dave Doran, you are NC State. No one is trying to steal your playbook. It's okay.
They're worried about poaching players. It's not the playbook anymore.
What are you planning on showing in the spring game, Dave?
The idea that someone out there, like a college football, another team's staff, is just looking at spring games, being like, "Oh, I've never heard of that guy. Maybe we should try to get him." Like, are you really going to base your evaluation of a player on a spring game? It's just
no, but
I will say though, I want to shout out one time I know for sure I will be tailgating outside of the normal college football season this year in Toledo, Ohio at the end of June. People better be there because I'm gonna be there. And you just said that people can't tailgate by themselves. So
hey, every tailgate has to start somewhere. Send me away. I'll come take pictures of the Italian Bowl.
Wheresoever two or more are gathered in the name of college football, there also is a tailgate.
Jesus would be at the tailgate.
The European version is drinking on trains, right?
Railgating's a thing.
Okay, that's what I figured. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
It's legal on Amtrak.
I say that because I have done it before. Like I have railgated before, or whatever the German version. The Germans probably have a version that has like 8. It's a compound word with 8 different words in it, but it means to imbibe alcohol on a train heading towards a soccer match. This is also where there's the whole thing with in right now in UEFA with being like, oh, Turkey did something and Jose Mourinho is having feelings about it. And you need to remind you that Turkish fans are insane.
Are there any normal European soccer fans?
Someone love me like the Turkish fans love road flares. Because holy shit, they love road flares. And they'll just land on the track and no one has problems with it.
Turkey, handshake, the entire like every Balkan soccer fan, handshake, road flares.
Mm-hmm. Kamish, hello, sir.
Hey, how are y'all?
Good.
How's your computer?
You know, when you do the thing where you want to restart your computer, and
Don't
then
do
it
that.
has the option where you can just do restart or update and restart,
Yeah, I know.
and you accidentally hit the update and restart.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. So I did that, and yeah, that's why I'm a little late. So I'm updated and restarted, folks. I don't have no idea what we missed. So
Fine. Trace McSorley talking about classical music.
okay.
Well,
Uh,
Kamish, you're gonna find out what you missed at some point in the moderate future.
Okay.
Oh yes, that too.
It is a threat. If you took it as a threat, take it as one.
No, it's not. It's not a threat. It's a promise.
A promise can be a threat.
Northern Illinois University, who has
I have
left,
no idea what happened now, but okay.
who has left the warm hug of the Mac, has gone west, young man, and now they are in the Mountain West for football only.
Mm-hmm.
So they had to park their sports elsewhere. They have chosen the Horizon League. Quick, someone besides Commissioner Arthur name a Horizon League team.
I don't give them a little bit of time. That's fine. I want to make a joke that they climbed to the Mountain West and now they're looking over the horizon.
Mm-hmm.
That's all
That's
I
good.
want to say.
Mhm.
That's it. That's it.
Any of us like any teams here?
I mean,
Detroit Mercy.
Dayton?
I said no, Arthur.
so here's
Bridget
the thing.
got it.
But
Wait, sorry, I didn't hear it. Bridget, what'd you say?
I said Detroit Mercy.
That's correct.
Yes, absolutely.
yeah, there you go. I want to make a joke about another Horizon League team, but that would give it away. So I'm gonna let you guess, and then I got to get my joke in.
Youngstown State.
Yes, also in the Horizon League.
Okay.
Dayton.
No,
No.
that's A10.
Okay.
Dayton's A10
Dayton's A10.
and Pioneer.
DePaul.
No, Big East.
Nope.
No.
DePaul was in the Big East with Pitt.
I didn't watch basketball then.
Here are your teams.
I mean, I can
Wait, no, let
But
me
I
get the
can't.
joke off. Let me get
I'll
the
give
joke
you
off.
get the joke off.
get the joke off.
So NIU, right? They're gonna have most of their sports in the Horizon League, but they're gonna have like a little side hustle in the Mountain West, if you will, like a second gig they got going on playing football in the Mountain West. So they're gonna fit right in to the Horizon League with UW Green Bay.
Yes, Green Bay is here. Commish, what were you gonna do?
Oh no, I was just going to talk about the Mastodons.
Yes, the Fort Wayne Mastodons.
Do Fort Wayne.
Oh, even better. Here we go. Mascots. Robert Morris are the
Colonials.
Got it. Cleveland State are the
Vikings.
Vikings. Youngstown State are the
Penguins.
Penguins. Fort Wayne.
Mastodons.
I just said the
Mastodons.
Mastodons. Yes.
Milwaukee.
Panthers.
I think are they the Phoenix? That's no Green
Are they
Bay's
the
the
Bucks?
Phoenix.
Green Bay is the Phoenix.
Oh, let's find out. The
Uh-oh.
Panthers. They are the Panthers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kumish got it.
Oakland.
Bears.
Not
Or
just
Grizzlies.
the Bears.
Grizzlies.
I believe the Golden Grizzlies. I
The
believe.
Golden Grizz.
Northern Kentucky.
The Norse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wright State.
Uh,
Huskies.
There's some sort of dog, I believe.
Greyhounds?
No.
No.
They're the Raiders.
Okay.
But the
Okay.
dog, there's Rowdy Raider the dog. Okay.
Okay, so there is a dog involved. Okay, and they lost to Green Bay recently.
IUND, aka Ooey Pooey.
UND or no?
Jags.
Okay, never mind. UND is the Greyhounds, which is why I was.
Oh, never mind. You're right. Sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
The Greyhounds. Yes. Detroit Mercy.
I
remember
are
this
they the
one.
Racers? No,
No,
Detroit. No, Racers, Murray State. They're what is
they are
their
the
mascot?
Titans.
The Titan. Damn it! All right,
And then lastly, Green Bay are the
the Phoenix.
Phoenix.
The Doug Gottliebs.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Doug Gottlieb.
Yeah. Point of order. UND is the University of Indianapolis. IUPUI is a different school, and their mascot is the Jaguar.
So this is IUND. Which one is this?
This is the artist formerly known as IUPUI.
Yeah, so they're the
Jaguar.
Jaguars.
This is the Indiana University Indianapolis Jaguars.
Yes.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yes. Again, the artist formerly known as IUPUI.
Are they the one that had their bus catch fire recently?
Yes, I
It
believe
was them. Okay.
Or was that you? Or was that UND? I can't.
No, it was IU Indy.
yes.
They had to evacuate their bus. Everybody was safe. It was a mechanical issue, but the bus caught fire
It
in
didn't just
Lawrenceburg,
catch fire.
Indiana.
Like it's scorched, right?
Dude, that went out quick. I'm glad they all got out safely. That's scary.
A lot of people have been saying like, "Ho ho ho!" Big step down for NIU basketball. Y'all, NIU basketball has been dead for a long time. This program is not a great program. This is fine for basketball. I have no other opinions about other sports, but for men's basketball especially, this is fine.
Do you want to know what NIU's basketball record is this year?
It's like 4-18.
It's ULM-esque.
What is it?
5-23.
Okay.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this has been like a 20-year thing. This is fine.
They are in conference. They are 1-14 in conference.
And the MAC is the MAC.
You know what's funny is MAC basketball is kind of opposite of football because Akron is 14-1 in the conference.
If Akron fucks up, and again, problem here, Akron should go to the tournament, but I'm worried because Akron can trip on themselves and.
No, I mean Miami, Ohio is 12-3. Kent State, Akron's rival, which if they play in the MAC tourney, that's must see TV.
That is
because those two. No, I mean it's good. It's good every single time. But yeah, NIU's basketball not good. Not good at all. Season by season records. Let me see when NIU had their last winning season.
Oh, while he's doing that, by the way, Dartmouth basketball this year, very good. I just want to say they did not win the Ivy League, but they might make the Ivy tournament, and that's wild shit. Because Dartmouth men's basketball has been ass. Kanish, go ahead.
Okay. No. So their last winning record was in 2019-2020. Head coach Mark Montgomery. And then their last winning record before that was 2015. Last winning record before that was 2002. So
a cicada performance.
Yeah, there are. The funny thing is that the coach that led them to the winning record in 2019, in 2019-2020 season, Mark Montgomery, he's now the head coach of Detroit Mercy. So,
okay,
got a little connection there.
Yeah. Oh, some Horizon hate.
Oh,
last college football thing. This one's not really that interesting. Is that the CFP the college football playoff had their meeting? Folks had their meeting in Dallas or in Grapevine, Texas, and they basically said that they're. Didn't really talk. They talked about some things, but aren't going to do anything right now. That's the entirety of the news.
Cool. I love a useless meeting.
My favorite part of the news here is that, Chris Vanini reported this. He says the CFP meeting has ended with no decisions on 2025 and 2026 and beyond. ACC Commissioner Jim Phillips says various models were discussed for all. More conversations coming. My favorite part of this tweet is where he just like separates the paragraph that he had there. And then there's a separate line that says Greg Sankey and Tony, is it Petiti?
Petiti, yep.
Okay. Left without speaking to reporters. So to me, that's the funny part. Is that like the SEC and Big Ten commissioners was like, I'm not talking to nobody. And the one thing that I can take out of that is like, well, I guess the SEC and Big Ten didn't get their way. At least not yet. But,
Was it lions don't interest themselves in the opinions of gazelle? Like that's
lions don't, what I don't know, like the opinions of kangaroo, like in Akron. I just keep talking about Akron apparently on this podcast. So I'm back. I've updated and restarted, and now I'm an Akron person instead of ULM. Okay, totally.
There we go. That happens. One gets flipped to 0, then you're fucked.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm hearing is we got to turn Commish off and back on again.
But make sure don't install the updates. We won't get them back during the podcast.
No, we have to revert to the setting that he was at before.
We got to return Commish to factory settings. Okay.
Damn it. My default's got all messed up.
Before I show you the next thing I'm going to show you, I'm going to play the audio for you first. This is a 3-point celebration audio at a game. Here we go. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now I'm going to show you the video where it comes from.
I've been saying this all day. I was saying it all last night when I found it.
This is thanks here to Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils basketball. It's an unofficial account.
Yes.
But they're doing more for this school than literally any of the other social medias are.
Because I'm just going to say this, Mississippi Valley State Delta Devils, like their social media is relatively non-existent. So this account, I know who it's run by, but I'm not going to say. This account is an unofficial account, but they have been keeping up with the Mississippi Valley State season, the entire season. And we follow them, they follow us. It's the unofficial account, and I don't think it's like anything bad or whatsoever, but they follow along their games. And so Mississippi Valley State is on the road at our other favorite SWAC team, Prairie View A&M. Prairie View A&M is up 37-24. And then they kick the ball out for a 3-pointer.
And here we go.
Bush, he'll stop and spot for the 3-point shot. Looks good, yeah.
Bush shooting at 50% from the 3-point line tonight.
Donald Carroll.
Now, the question you may ask, because I know you're interested, you're going, hey, they don't do that every time there's a 3, right? Like that's so much. They wouldn't do it every time it's a 3. I'm not going to play all 4.5 minutes of this supercut.
Yeah, so like they reached out to me, and they were just like, I was like, do you want? He did this the entire game, and I was like, do you want like a supercut? I was like, yes, please. And then so he quoted what I asked, yes, please, for this. The funny part is he did this on free throws too.
I would die for this person.
Look, man.
Listener, I need you to know that this incredibly extra 3-point call is occurring in a pretty nice basketball gym that appears to have about 15 people in it.
Yeah, we don't bust on crowd sizes, and these are two teams who are at the bottom of the SWAC, but it helps to, when you're envisioning this, you have to know.
Yeah, it is an important part of the vibe that that there are a lot of empty purple seats
Yes.
listening to the sirens.
I'm just going to let a few of these go to enjoy ourselves here.
3-point line and bury it. 4-3, the Panthers up 1.
That was the
Mars,
first three of the
you can
game.
pick up the line step there, right side. As on the right side, Tanaj Petway gets a prayer and hits a 3-pointer. 16-50.
It's so good, and it just goes on.
The fun part is he saying this as the other team, as Mississippi Valley State is advancing the ball past half court.
It's like
also,
a long goal.
I have the official attendance for this game.
Ooh. Oh, can I guess?
Oh, okay. Let's go over under here. Let's or just guess. Do prices right rules.
Okay, so I feel like official attendance, because you give some tickets away.
Yeah.
We're gonna go 300.
Okay.
I'll go 420.
Oh, okay.
Thanks, Elon.
$1.
Dang it!
Okay. All right.
I was gonna. Okay, I'll go in the middle. 128.
Okay. Jordan was actually closest without going over. 358, folks.
Yeah. Once you give away tickets and do all of the maths, yeah.
And somebody like in our replies was like, "There's nobody in the stands." I was like, "I don't care. We just care about the people that are in the stands."
Yeah.
Plus, the people in the stands get to be really hype.
Yeah, I like genuinely. This is a better bit because there are fewer people there.
Exactly.
So
this would not be nearly as funny if this was occurring at like Kentucky.
Oh, also, can I mention that when that this whole thing here, when all this is going on, there's not like flashing strobe lights that you think that might go on when they do something like this, because you want like flashing strobe lights and like no, the lighting is totally neutral. Nothing is changing here.
The game has continued, in fact.
Yeah, it's like it's just going like he's just going 3.
Wait, everybody's playing as though they can't hear it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like they're just like, okay, we're just gonna advance the ball up the court. Prairie View is 5-23, and Mississippi Valley State is 3-25. So again, doesn't matter. Loved it. Loved every single second of it. Thank you to the unofficial Delta Devils men's basketball account who requested a shout out on the podcast. And I was like, okay, if it's good enough, we may even put it in a video clip. So can you find the one with the free throw in the 4 minutes?
I don't know where it is.
It's made it on the soundboard. So I mean, this call, there was the free throw. Scroll back a little bit.
Gosh, imagine Eric Collins calling a Prairie View A&M game.
I think the free throw, you passed it.
This is my new Kobe. So instead of doing the Kobe,
okay.
I guess it's a different angle.
I love like when the dance team came out, he was this enthusiastic for the dance team too. Yeah, here right there in the middle.
Oh yeah, that's a dance team.
Yeah. So like here we go. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
All right, Panther Nation.
Needs more sounds. Keep the sounds going.
So wait.
Keep playing it.
Just a question. So how much of this do you think is on the soundboard versus how much of it is like the actual announcer saying something? Like obviously the air horn is on the soundboard.
I mean, he was saying the players' names after some of those threes.
Right. I'm thinking, do you think he says the whole thing? Or maybe because it sounds like it's like it kind of overlaps a little bit. So maybe there's like one button that's like a recorded 3-pointer, and then
I think he recorded himself. And then he will play he'll just go back and forth with the buttons a little bit and then do the players' names at the same time.
This guy is definitely DJing on the weekends.
He's multi-talented.
Yeah, for sure. Coming to the dance floor. It's the new couple.
I think the first part is all pre-recorded, and then you can hear him going into actually saying 3-pointer by whoever hit it.
I think so. I think I agree with you.
I think so. It's Mr. and Mrs. 3-pointer.
Can we play that when somebody tells a joke that just takes everybody out?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I was gonna say anytime we do a game, right? We try to play more of that Family Feud game. Every time someone gets the right answer, just hit them with the 3-pointer.
You get the right, you get the 3-pointer, and then you get it wrong, you get, oh no, disaster. What a bad idea.
Yeah, this definitely needs. Yeah, we definitely need to elevate this to our soundboard.
Sorry, elabort?
This
Elevate.
Yeah,
motherfucker
that's a
said
cocktail
elevort.
that I made. It's an elevated Malort.
That's not legal in Texas anymore. You can't do that.
Elevate. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's what you take to go up. You take the elevort.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
That's what the Swedish chef calls an elevator. The elevort.
Elabort.
Elevort.
Kamish,
Yes.
are we saying goodbye to poop?
Yeah. Oh, farewell, poop.
A Farewell to Poop, one of my favorite books.
A farewell to poop. Everybody poops, but not anymore.
All quiet on the Western Poops.
All quiet on the eastern Pennsylvania poops.
For whom the bell poops.
Yeah. The Liberty Bell poops.
For the.
Yeah, of course. But the world famous poop scoreboard is sadly no more. The NBCS Philadelphia changed their score bug. So when the Pirates and Phillies play each other and the game starts, it will not be poop anymore. They changed the score bug. So rest in peace, poop.
It sucks so bad to be a Pirates fan, and this was a thing that brought everyone on Pit Twitter and Pirates Twitter joy, and they took it from us.
I just it was joy. It was like one of the things we could look forward to and count on in the Pirates season. Like, the Pirates are like 12 games out of first in like middle of May. And they go on the road to play, the Phillies, or the Phillies come to PNC Park, and we got to see poop, but we don't get to see poop anymore.
They're using the first 3 letters of the team names, right? Or the city names.
Yeah.
So I need you to tell me whether Philo-Pido or Pido-Philo is more of a Star Wars character. Which one is more of a cut rate? It has to be Philo-Pido.
Philo-Pido is giving, oh shit, it's Glup Shitto. But
okay, good.
It doesn't hit the same as the poop score bug, and it never will. Next thing you know, they're going to take butt from us and moon.
Yeah.
I mean, they are taking butt from us, right? First year without butt.
It's the first year without the butt game. They've taken the butt and they've taken the poop. I mean, what are they going to take next? Can you edit this, Arthur? I would just like clap this. I wanted to
Jordan, can you hit
post
the
that
thing?
the other day. Yeah, like.
Oh no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
They won't let us have butt or poop anymore because of woke.
Because of woke.
You can't have poop because of wipe. No.
No.
Oh, no,
you hit it.
disaster.
You know.
Yeah, hit the disaster button again, Jordan.
I was just there. We go.
Jordan, remember how I said I was gonna get a mixer? I'm gonna get a mixer that has a soundboard built in, so I can compete with you.
I gotta get a.
Hold up.
Everybody needs soundboard
for the latest Windows service updates. Restart now for updates. Is
No.
that the button I push?
No.
That is the button you push, Jordan. Push the
But
button.
only you, because
Only
of your
me.
bad joke.
Some of us aren't recording on Windows.
Right? Thank you.
I would like to take this moment to flash back to before anyone had a soundboard, when canonically I was supposed to be the keeper of the soundboard.
Oh, that's right. No, when we do the live show, I guarantee you I'm gonna give the soundboard to you.
Okay.
Promise.
I will accept that.
Will you tell her what the buttons do?
Oh, that's better. Soundboard.
Oh, that is funny.
Okay, that is really funny, Bridget. I'll give you a soundboard. But even better though, on this one, I can put pictures on there instead of text.
Oh,
I'm just gonna put pictures on there.
Okay.
Because I got a nice Mike Gundy for.
Come after me! I'm a man! I'm 40!
So I'm starting to play a little more with the space.
Okay.
What's this last thing about? Why are we talking about
what does it
St.
look like?
Bonaventure and
Oh,
NIL?
do you not know? Do you not know about this?
Well, I know he's there.
So yeah, go ahead, Arthur.
So Waj is auctioning off his old phones from when he was, ESPN NBA insider Waj to support St. Bonaventure NIL. He now is, of course, the GM of St. Bonaventure men's basketball. But basically, you can bid on this and you can own, for example, the phone that Waj used to break that the NBA had shut down for COVID.
You're messing me up, dude. Like, you're saying like Waj, and I've always called him Woj.
I don't know. It's Waj.
But he's like Wojnarowski, right? So it's like it's Woj to me,
Such
but you called him
Woj.
Waj.
Very, very bomb. Wow.
Wow, Woj. No, but he's auctioning off. Did you see the website that he
I
had
did
for this
see
stuff?
the website.
Okay, so the
thought our
website,
Spanish speakers would get a kick out
our
of that.
Spanish speakers of this website of where you can pledge for these Woj bomb phones. It's a cuss word. We're explicit, so the website is Jordan. I don't know if you can see it. I put it in the chat.
Oh
Look at the website.
no.
Look at the website.
Oh no. Oh no. Listener,
Like Jordan
the
is like,
website on which you can bid on Woj's phone is in English putabounty.com.
Mm-hmm.
If you speak Spanish, yeah.
We think you can put two and two together.
that's right.
Yeah.
You definitely putting something together there.
So just for some numbers here, the iPhone used to break Paul George and Kawhi to the Clippers is currently at $2,500. Waj his ESPN ID badge from 2017 to 2024 is $2,000.
Okay.
Really?
There's a couple more. Those are the ones that stuck out to me the most. He's got like his NBA draft credentials, right? Like how you have like the credential you wear on your neck, so you can buy various for that, like past All-Star games, NBA Finals, that sort of thing. So yeah, he's auctioning this all off to fund St. Bonaventure.
Yeah.
So, Jordan, I want you to know how I learned about this occurring.
Okay.
Because this is, as has previously been established on this podcast, I don't watch the NBA. So, like, I knew who Woj was, or Waj, or however we're pronouncing his name, because, Woj bombs would go off and Twitter would talk about them, and I was, like, vaguely aware of this guy's existence. But college sports blue sky was talking about this yesterday when it happened, and a presumably St. Bonaventure fan ended up in friend of the show Spencer Hall's mentions, saying, Spencer being like, "This is stupid. Why are you giving your money to this?" Reply guy being like, "Stop trying to take money away from the Bonnies, please." Relevant skeet here. Quote from Spencer: "I will never give a dime to a private school in any way. Harvard should be burned to the ground, and everyone should have to go to the Ohio State of their choice." All of that to say, many are saying abolish the Ivy League.
What's my Ohio State of choice? Honestly, I could do it all again knowing what I know now. 4 years at Arizona, 6 to 7 years at Arizona State. And then you
6
just
to
roll
7
dice
years.
for a real good grad program. Yeah. That feels correct.
I just like to not like partially because of what the URL for this website is, but when I first saw this, I assumed it was some sort of hack. Like, how when like notable people get hacked and it's like, I'm selling like signed MacBook Pros or something like that. Like, why would you want like random celebrity's signature on, like, why would you want that autographed? That, like, I assumed that's what was going on until I saw other people talking about it as a real thing. I was like, oh wow, that might be a real website. That's not a scam that you got hacked.
I mean, that my immediate read on that URL without context would be that this is the thing that Avenue Q says the internet was made for, my friends. But somehow it's not that.
Do you know what the internet is made for? The Sickos Committee and all the things that we do.
Yay!
Check out our Linktree and our Blue Sky and other profiles so you can buy things that you like. Join our Patreon for $5 a month. That seems like a good idea. You can find us on our Discord. We're also doing a special podcast special with our good friend Roger Sherman about the Northwestern football drought. Their 34-game losing streak. We record our first episode Thursday night. I don't know when it'll be out. Probably not Friday morning.
We record tomorrow night.
I thought it was Thursday.
No, Wednesday.
Let me double check my calendar.
Linear time was a mistake.
There we go.
Oh, never mind. Never mind. You know what? I do have it on Wednesday. You're fine.
Okay.
And listener, by the time you listen to this, it will have already been recorded, but not available to you.
Yeah. Well,
not yet.
It'll probably be available. I'll aim for Friday morning, but we'll see how it goes. We also have our merch store where you can buy all of your Aaron Go Birds gear. We have stickers. We have mugs. We have shirts. We don't have a sports bra yet. Y'all, I don't think the quality of the sports bra is very good. If you're
sure that
sports bra, I think a print-on-demand sports bra is probably not your bet.
Okay, but consider this. It doesn't cost us anything to make the design and post it, right? Like these are all printed on demand, so we can put it up. Even if 0 people buy it, it's on our site, and I think that's cool.
Yeah, sure, but when I put the leggy Jayhawk on the bikini, everyone got real weird about that.
I was in favor.
Why am I not surprised?
I would like to state for the record that part of the problem with the leggy Jayhawk on the bikini is that the bikini is white.
Yeah. Is there a way to change the color of it?
No, they're white.
Nope. That's why we should just sell a white bikini. No one should buy it.
No,
you should
put
just
it up
sell it.
so that people can print it off and just vinyl, iron it on. Use your Cricut. You have one. I know you do.
Leggy Jayhawk pasties. We're going to corner the market in Lawrence next year, folks.
Are we?
When the girls go wild, hey, we have a videographer here. We'll be like, hey, girls, will you go wild for Jayhawk pasties?
Who's the videographer in this situation, Jordan?
You, Bridget. You, Bridget.
No.
Commission's our sound guy.
Yeah, sure.
And I'm the one that's like, here are your stickers.
Hey, no, there is a fill. We can put colors.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a fill option.
There used to be a series called Girls Gone Wild. I'm pretty sure everyone who made it's in jail. I'm not talking to you guys. I'm talking to people younger than you. I think they're all in jail.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah, I don't want to go to jail.
No.
There's a fill.
I like life on the outside.
Going to jail is not part of our business plan.
No.
Insofar as we have one.
No, we don't. That's we
don't business plan or not going to jail.
Imagine if that wasn't our business plan. Imagine a company where part of their business plan is not a risk is go to jail. Next step, go to prison.
I mean, Sam Bankman-Fried seems to maybe have had that as a goal.
They discussed this on the podcast. It's called business prison. We don't need to discuss it. Yeah.
No, they cornered the market on business prison. We're not getting in on that.
We're not getting in on that. Theirs. We probably get thrown into business prison.
Business prison. It's
I want to see someone where they're like, okay, listen, I got a great business model. It'll only work in a prison. I got to go to prison to start my company.
I mean, if you're a fine purveyor of jailhouse wines,
I was just about to say new and improved toilet wine.
Okay, so you don't actually make it in a toilet. Toilet's just where you hide it.
Okay, but it needs to be called TRLT, Turlet. And that's your new fancy wine.
We've all made it, right? We've all had Pruno.
The closest I've come, buddy, is jungle juice in a trash can.
We're going to make Pit Girl's new saying, abolish the Ivy League.
No, unserious institution.
I am once again proposing the abolition of the Ivy League.
All right, so Pit Girl's got like a couple of different sayings here. Now we have linear time was a mistake, abolish the Ivy League.
Happy Tuesday.
It's Tuesday. Happy
Tuesday. It's Tuesday, and
No,
and
you put
I'm gonna
like
throw in the squirrel jihad again because I wanted to just say that again.
you put in water
I'm not giving you the show
and
title.
some fruit cocktail and some ketchup and sugar cubes. And you put it all together and you ferment it. You have to burp it every once in a while because it really gasses up bad. But then you drain it, you drink it. Y'all have
Hey,
never done
Jordan.
this.
No, we have,
Obnoxious
like,
your
Jordan.
boyfriend has made actual wine
Yeah.
at home.
My
Sorry,
friends have
what?
brewed beer. I have lots of homebrew friends. Jordan, I have drank soju that was then used to cook a clam bake
Yeah.
in North Korea. I've drank North Korean soju. I would not drink this.
It just shocks me that you guys never. Okay.
Jordan, we did not live in an Ivy League fraternity house.
Yeah, that's number
like
one.
he's like saying
Even my
this, like,
friends who were
matter
in
of
frats,
fact.
like we stuck to stuff we could get at the liquor store. Like we went to the
you
cat
don't even
spot
need-
and bought
You
stuff.
don't need the liquor store for this.
Didn't you just like make a friend with a junior to go like
Yeah.
buy you alcohol?
Well, yeah, but I mean, I won't lie. The people that made this was people that could already drink. Like these were like seniors who were bored made doing this. And yeah, it's not called toilet wine because you just hide.
When I
in the
was a senior, I was applying to grad school. Like what?
We made up a beer pong game called Disco Wall, where it was walls, so you played with full lines of cups, but it was double wall, and you had turrets on top of beer cups, so it was like 2D. But then the disco version was we turned on our main like disco bulb and like dance lights and played Rammstein while we did this.
Okay.
The one thing you're missing there, road flares.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
god!
God, can you imagine like how flammable that shit would be?
The whole house.
No, that was we had to have everything. Everything had to be like flame retardant. All our couches we had to buy special couches. They didn't go up because people would like drop cigarettes in them.
Oh
They
my
wouldn't
god.
let you have normal couches. Why is the existence of the Ivy League still legal?
You could
Can't even be trusted
burn,
with a fucking couch.
You could
And, like,
burn through the. The best part was like you could put cigarette holes in them, but it wouldn't catch the thing on fire.
Jordan, I've been to parties where we were burning a couch and roping goats, and that's still not on the level of this.
I do have a question. I'm now wondering though why by ordinance couches like this are not legally required to be the only couches available in Morgantown.
Right?
You couldn't burn these. We tried.
I know.
Oh, we don't disbelieve you, Jordan. We very much believe you.
We couldn't burn them.
I know it's a time, like an era thing and not like a specific university or location, but I'm still caught up on the thing about cigarettes burning down couches means is people just like smoking on the couch inside.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah.
Friend of mine, I was walking down the hallway. I was a pledge. And I see a man by the name of Dr. Teeth. Dr. Teeth lived in a robe his whole senior year.
With the electric mayhem, I imagine.
Right?
And so Dr. Teeth comes out. He had dropped, he followed the cigarette in his hand, dropped it on his chest hair on fire, burned his chest hair off. He came out. He was in a very bad way. Poor man.
Yeah, clearly. Because I'm not going to say it's a bummer, but I have a bummer story about how that ends very poorly.
Oh, no. Everything we did is one step away from, everyone should be dead. Hey, girl, you doing okay over there, boss?
I'm going to need you to hit the disaster button, please.
Oh no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
Thank you.
I swear to God, Jordan, I love you with all my heart. Every time I hear a news story about your time at Dartmouth, all I'm going to hear in my head is, oh no, disaster. What a bad idea.
We also have a YouTube channel. We also have Instagram. We have a Twitch channel too.
We're still in the middle of the ad read.
We're in the middle of the ad read. That's where we got stranded. Like I said, I think I've decided my first game to stream is going to be Roller Coaster Tycoon 2. I've really had a jonesing to play it lately. I found the open RCT updated version too, so I'm very excited to play that. Shout out to Message Board Geniuses podcast. They go to the places we refuse to go. And as always, for the softest, comfiest, officially licensed collegiate apparel, they have some great new basketball season stuff. Their Gonzaga stuff and Villanova stuff. I love the Villanova stuff and the colors that I can best describe as like icy colors. It's that light blue and red that look kind of icy.
Yeah, the blue is very nice. Also on Beth's behalf, Nova Nation.
Use our link and use offer code yes, ha 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 yes, 3 ha's for 15% off your first order. Hey, spring's almost here. Why don't you go through and pick a random school and get yourself a shirt? Maybe get yourself an Evergreen State Gooey Duck shirt.
They also have tank tops. They're very nice tank tops.
New line that they have coming out with racing.
Oh, God,
yes.
it's so good.
Yes.
It's
Right?
very good.
Like I've never drinking Folgers coffee, but I want that jacket. I already have the hat, the Folgers hat for Tim Richmond. The Raise Hell, Praise Dale collection is fantastic. I don't think I could. I don't think I have Dale swag. Like I don't think I could wear Dale merch. I don't think I have that in me.
I
But
think you do.
it
I
is
know
very
I
nice.
don't.
I'm just too
I can't
young
pull off
to
just a good wrench. I can't do it.
feel. Yeah,
can't do
I
it.
could see that. I just feel too young to feel comfortable wearing that.
I just
Arthur,
can't.
Arthur, I remember when Dale Earnhardt died. Do you?
No, because it would have been before 9/11.
Yes.
9/11 is like the earliest thing that I remember, like as an event, not like
Okay.
just stuff around the house or something.
Okay.
Everyone else on this call remember 9/11?
Yes. The
Yes,
rest
we
of the
do.
podcast is having an existential crisis. Sorry, listeners.
We all remember where were you? Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's all high school, college.
I was in first grade.
Yeah, I
Oh
remember.
my God, I was a senior in high school.
I was in kindergarten. I got upset because my mom came to pick me up from school early before we'd had snack time.
I remember this story. Yes.
Yeah. I had.
I wouldn't go. She was like, "There's something going on. I'm here to pick you up early." I was like, "No, we got to do snack. Like snack time is more important than whatever you have going on."
I would like to posit a theory. Kind of like how, if you put enough monkeys and enough typewriters in a room, eventually you'll get the collected works of Shakespeare. 3 or more millennials in a room, and eventually you will figure out where everybody was and how old they were on 9/11.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
So-
I had class at ULM that day. My first class was aviation.
Oh no.
It got canceled.
Okay, pulling that out of the skid. Jesus Christ. Let's talk about other forms of transportation. We're bringing back a series that we love.
Wait,
No?
did you want to do the Iditarod or? Okay,
Yes, that is a form of transportation, Kamish.
it is okay.
Yeah, you get
Yeah, no,
around by bobsled.
I'm not going
People
to
have for
transit
thousands of years.
bobsled.
Oh, okay.
Our favorite series, which is our What is Coming Up and Why Should I Watch It? The Wikuswasi Squeezy series.
Yeah.
We covered this a little bit last year, but we're going to do it again because we have some money in the game this year.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah.
We have bet heavily on no.
I actually did just have the realization that you can probably gamble on the Iditarod.
Oh,
course
yeah.
you can.
What? Okay.
We have Big Sky Bridget here, and Big Sky Bridget is going to tell us about the Iditarod.
All right, friends, welcome back. We're doing this Linda Ellerby style. We're going Nick News with
Who, what, where, when, why.
who, what, where, when, why, and how. So what this is it's typically a 1,000-mile sled dog race across Alaska from Anchorage/Willow to Nome. This year, it's 1,128 miles from Fairbanks to Nome across the Alaskan interior and Norton Sound.
Wait a sec.
When-
Is this where we say? Is this where we get mad at Balto later, right?
There is a part where I mention his musher. You are welcome to be mad at him then.
Okay,
But
cool.
don't be mad at Balto. Balto is a good dog.
Balto's fine. Yes.
Be mad at the lamestream media.
Okay, got it. I'll keep my turn. Thank you.
All good. This is why we have question time. Every time is question time. Okay. When the Iditarod is, the ceremonial start is March 1st, which, if you were listening, is this Saturday. 10 a.m. Alaska Standard Time. They do the ceremonial start as part of Fur Rendezvous, or Fur Rondi, every February and March. There was a lack of snow this year in Anchorage, so they had to both truck in snow for the 4th Avenue ceremonial start, and they shortened the route because of a lack of snow.
Can I just say that for Rendezvous, that yeah.
No, it's not the convention in Pittsburgh in the
Okay,
summer.
I'm
Okay,
saying
all right,
it's
not
not
that.
sure.
Right?
No,
It's
okay, so
different.
we can cut this, but Rendezvous was a whole thing in the Western United States, especially in places where they had fur trappers. When I was in 4th grade and we lived in Wyoming, it was where Native people and especially the French fur trappers would come together, and they would have a rendezvous, and they'd sell stuff, they'd eat food. It was a whole thing. You can probably still go to that rendezvous in Laramie, Wyoming.
Yeah,
Very
my
cool.
parents rented a Buick Rendezvous when they were out in Portland one time.
Same thing.
Good contribution, Arthur. Appreciate you. And I'm
Now-
sure that's how you know how to spell rendezvous.
That's right.
You said
Shout out
you
to
said
Buick. Sponsor us.
they're shortening the route because of the lack of snow. Is this just this route for the?
It's just so they just run the dogs down the street, so people get
Right,
to
okay.
see the mushers and the dogs. They will have VIPs. You can pay to ride on a sled to go down the street with them, and just introduce them to people. More people get to come. Usually at the Willow restart, there's room, but there's not like a ton of room. So when they do it down 4th, it's a lot easier for everybody to crowd out and see, and it's fun. It's a fun little parade thing.
Okay. So then what happens next?
So then they do the official restart. Usually that is in Willow. This year it's in Fairbanks because of the lack of snow, as mentioned. It will be at the Pikes Waterfront Lodge, right on the Tanana River, right down in downtown Fairbanks. So this was a southern route year. They have 2 routes, northern, southern, obviously. Big lack of snow in parts, not forecast to get more. Got to move to Fairbanks again. They last did that in 2017, and they will run along the Yukon and Tanana rivers. And your race map is on iditarod.com. Jordan.
I saw that there was apparently a snowmobile or other kind of race that was doing sort of the same path this week. And when they saw how little snow it was just like eating up the machines.
So that's the Iditarod Trail Invitational, I believe. This is where people will leave like a week and a half ahead of time and walk or snowmobile the route. They also have trail breakers who go ahead and make sure that the trail is good, especially if there's new snow. They'll go back and remark the trail so everybody knows where it is.
Gotcha.
But they'll have people like Nordic skiing at whatever. But yeah, that whole trail, like if you've seen pictures of it, it looks like April. There's just no snow.
It's like rock and mud. It's not a trail. It's just looks like
yeah,
hell.
it's gross. Yeah.
Yeah.
So people politely agitated to get it changed. So why are we talking about the Iditarod? Why do we run it? 1, because it's cool. 2, it's historic. People in northern climes, native Athabascans, Dena'ina, the Sami in Scandinavia, the Chukchi people in modern-day Russia, have been running sled dogs for centuries. I mentioned him last year. I'm mentioning him again. Our boy Norwegian explorer Roald Amundsen brought them on his expedition to the South Pole, and you can read about him in The Last Viking. Jordan, you can prepare your anger at Balto here. This is the 100th.
Balto. Balto's a good boy.
Balto's a good boy. Be mad at the media. It is the 100th anniversary of the serum run to Nome.
Oh wow! I didn't realize it was here.
Yep. So there was a diphtheria outbreak in Nome in 1925 that would have spelled certain death for the native and settler populations, but particularly the native population. The biplanes that they had in Alaska at the time, there were 2, and they had been dismantled for the winter, and they weren't suited to conditions because they were open and it was cold. There was going to be an attempt to ship the antitoxin from Seattle, but that would have taken days to get there. They found serum in Anchorage in one of the hospitals, shipped it by steam engine from Anchorage to Nenana. Then it was taken by a relay of teams from Nenana to Nome. Mushers included many Athabascans and settlers, including Athabascan Jack Screw Nikolai, which I think is just the coolest nickname you could have. Wild Bill Shannon, he was the one who took off from Nenana, got really bad frostbite. And then Leonard Sapala, who was the one who, him and Gunnar Kasson did the last legs into Nome. So the traditional Iditarod route doesn't follow the Serum Run route, but they will hit some of the same checkpoints, especially this time around, because you're running along the same rivers to get over to Nome.
And Balto is a lie. The lamestream media wants you to think that Balto is the goodest dog, but the goodest dog is Togo. Everyone knows this. Balto has the press, the movie.
Togo has a movie.
Does Togo have a movie?
Togo has a movie now.
Oh, is it animated?
Nope, it's live action.
Oh, that might be even better.
It came out in like 2019.
Yeah. Wait, is that the Green Goblin? Hold up.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
This could be a future Flickos committee.
Okay. Yeah. Gonna just put that on there. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I need to show you guys. Hold up. You got to see the
and context for you, gentle listener, if you, like me, have forgotten this from last year. Togo was the actual lead sled dog for a lot of the run.
Yes.
Balto happened to cross the finish line and so claimed all of the glory.
Yeah. A lot. There was Balto also went around. Leonard Spall and his dogs went around talking about the sled dog, the Serum Run, and sled dogs in general, things like that, because it got to be a big story in the lower 48. So that's sort of how you have the myth of Balto, and then you have the Don. It wasn't Don Bluth, was it?
Oh, was that a Bluth movie?
I don't think it was a Bluth movie. Was it early DreamWorks? Anyway, you had the movie that very much fictional, like it was a good movie, but very much fictionalized in the same way that Anastasia is a good movie.
It was directed by the same guy who did. Yeah, this is pretty good. American Tail, 5 Goes West. We're Back, a Dinosaur Story. Balto, and then same guy who did Prince of Egypt. So
bangers.
He gets a pass on this one. Yeah, he joined DreamWorks eventually. It was Amblin.
Amblin, that's right. Okay, I had the movie as a kid. Anyway, so how we run the Iditarod. Mushers are randomly assigned spots, and then they just race to Nome. They all start nominally at the same time. So their time starts at 2 p.m., and then they adjust based on their 24-hour break. So everybody has the exact same time. You have to take 2 8-hour rests and 1 24-hour rest along the route. The 8-hour rest is on the Yukon. I imagine it's going to be at Shagaluk again, and then also at White Mountain. And then 1 24-hour rest period. That's up to you where you take it, but you have to take it. We're going to get into the fun part now of the who. This is your musher preview. People to watch. Number one is Quince Mountain. They are the first trans musher in the Iditarod. They ran in
my Spanish wants to call it like
Quince
Mountain. Quince Mountain. Actually, Quince Mountain sounds like a tasty dessert too.
So they ran in the 2020 season, but that season obviously had to be cut short. Mm-hmm. So they're back to do it again. Mm-hmm. Question.
And no, more comment for the listeners.
Yes.
Listener, if you, like me, like cute dogs, you may follow Quince's partner, Blair Braverman, on Twitter or Blue Sky.
Yes.
Blair also wrote a really good book about being a female musher that I recommend called Welcome to the Goddamn Ice Cube. So
yeah.
Cool people.
She's great. She does. She's also done a lot of writing in Outside Magazine that helps explain how the Iditarod and mushing works. You should read her work. It's great. Next, we have Emily Ford. She is a black musher from Minnesota. And I love this part in her bio that says, following in the footsteps of the late North Pole expeditioner Matthew Henson and Iditarod finishers Becca Moore and Newton Marshall, I want to continue to represent Black people in cold places with an understanding and drive to show that anyone can adventure and everyone deserves to discover the outdoors, regardless of race, gender identity, or upbringing. I continue to seek adventure and represent the underrepresented in outdoor spaces, which is just really fucking cool. We love that.
We love to see it.
So she is a rookie this year. So a lot of times rookies will just run the race to get used to running the race. But think good thoughts for her to win like Rookie of the Year, because that would be very cool for her. Next up, we have Millie Porsold. I talked a little bit about her last year. She's a Danish musher. She came in 7th last year, despite coming down with a bout of pancreatitis on the trail. She had to take her 24-hour rest early and still came in 7th. So watch this space because she's my pick to win.
Now, Kamish.
Yeah.
We are on Team Millie, I believe.
We are. Team
How are we?
Mill. We are. So we sponsored a checkpoint for one of Mill, one of her checkpoints. She actually emailed me earlier today and was just like, "Hey, thank you for your generous support of me and the dogs." She is thrilled to have support of the college football fans of the Sickos Committee. There has been a glitch with the website, and it says it was automatic. It was not automatically removing checkpoints that were already sponsored. We chose Eagle Island, which Eagle Island was already taken. It was already taken, so we are now sponsoring Call Tag 1, the checkpoint there. She says this is a crucial one in the race. The check bags are going there that were originally going to the Iditarod spot since they changed the route due to the snow issue. And I told her we would like this. It'd be great. I was like, any checkpoint you need, we'll take it. She said, thank you so much. And it's super exciting to be on your podcast. I offered her, like a last minute invitation to the podcast because we didn't have her email or anything like that.
She
emailed us today. And she was just like, hey, I'm sorry, but I gotta be running with the dogs. So, maybe she's a Georgia fan. Running with the dogs. No, I don't know. Maybe a Washington Huskies fan.
Is ARPing appropriate at the Iditarod?
I would go more like high pitched.
Okay.
So instead of the like deep.
So she was like, I got to keep them dogs moving till the start, and I'm like,
That's true.
So let's talk about where Call Tag 1 is on the race, because I have some numbers here for us.
There you go.
Call Tag is Call Tag 1, because they'll go to Call Tag twice. Yes, Call Tag 1 is 456 miles into the race after a 36-mile stretch.
Yes.
Because from there, this year, there's a little, like, at Call Tag, they head south a little bit, do Eagle Island, they'll do a little loop, and then come back to Call Tag, and then finish along the coast towards Nome. This is so cool. I love the idea of being able to affect this. This feels... the nicest comparison possible. Feels very Hunger Games, where you can like throw in like packages to people.
Here is your thing gently drifting down with a parachute. Mm-hmm. We have sent you an energy pack.
Except
Enjoy.
It's gonna be like moose jerky.
So basically,
and dog treats. I hope
what we get for sponsoring this, we'll get one of the race packs from this, along with a bunch of stuff from the race, which it'll come to. I guess our PO box or my home address. I can't remember which one I put, but it'll come.
We should get both of those things on the podcast.
And again, we'll definitely go ahead and maybe we'll do a giveaway or something like that for some of the stuff that we sponsored to our Patreons inside our Discord.
Love it.
That would be very cool. Okay, so next we have just a few more. We have Charmaine Morrison. She is a Bozeman-based musher. Woo-hoo. Born and raised in Northwest Montana. She has a kennel out in Paradise Valley. We'll probably swing by there at some point. We have Jeff Dieter. He was a dark horse 4th place finisher last year, and low-key could very well win this year. If you watch the Iditarod Insider, his wife Katie Jo, who's also a musher, was doing a lot of commentary last year, going from checkpoint to checkpoint as part of the 2 different teams staffing the checkpoints. A few others to watch. You have Mitch Seavey. He is 65 years old. He first ran in 1982 and has regularly been running since 1995, and he's going for his 4th win.
Okay.
You have Ryan Reddington. He's a native Alaskan. His grandfather helped establish the Iditarod Trail as a historic trail. He is
Oh.
a third-generation musher. He won in 2023 and is going for win number 2. And last, you have Jesse
You can't call
Holmes.
like a musher like a nepo baby, right?
No, because you really do, like, you can be born into it, but you really do got to work for it.
Like, I mean, it just feels like this is one of those like lineage things.
Yes.
Like this is in
like,
his blood and DNA, so to
yes,
speak.
this is like
It's
what
it's
his family has done for
it's not like he's
literally
just been
generations.
named the head of the Iditarod company. It's no, he's got to earn this.
Yes.
But their family's been doing this for generations. Like, many other businesses or something of that nature. Like, hey,
Yeah. It's not like
I
you can
didn't
just
finish my
take
thought.
over.
It's
Like, you
perfect.
have to do your whole,
Yes.
like, you have to earn it yourself.
I lost my
And
train of
then-
thought. It's great.
No,
I was
you're good.
updated and restarted. I got to do that again.
It's okay.
Sorry.
You got to do it again. Who are you a
It's
fan of this time?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Well, I
reset
mean-
to Akron.
I reset the Akron.
Still figuring that out.
Who's the Akron in the race?
It's okay.
Again, I love Jeff Dieter because shout
No.
out to Jeff.
When
Jeff
you
Undercover.
restarted
Oh.
and we were talking about restarting as a fan of a different team earlier in the
Oh.
podcast.
Okay.
It was a callback.
Switch to another
okay.
team. It's fine.
Oh, I got to switch.
It's
Okay,
fine.
so I need
No, it's
another
fine.
FPS team. Okay.
Yeah, just
Okay.
think on that.
All right.
We're so good at podcasts.
We're great, you
I'm-
guys.
Christ.
Sorry. I've reset to New Mexico, so that's fine. Let's go Lobos.
You
We're
reached
talking
out,
about dogs,
Tommy is
baby.
hitting right now.
Bridget. You reached out to some of our followers and asked for questions. What kind of
I
questions do
did.
people have?
So I have a bunch. We can cut this off anytime and then I can just reply to people, or I can talk really fast. It's your choice. Number one question is, are the dogs well cared for? The answer being absolutely. There are standards for care for the Iditarod to run in it. And then just as we love our dogs, the mushers genuinely love and adore theirs and love to see them thrive and do the jobs they're about to do. Just as you train for a marathon, the dogs do tons and tons of training runs to make sure everyone's in tip-top shape to make it. Every musher wants to finish with all their dogs, but sometimes one needs to drop out for health reasons, not always injury. Sometimes they just might be done. And then ultimately be flown back to Anchorage to be cared for until the race is done. Huge shouts out to the Iditarod Air Force. They make the whole thing run. There are vets at every single checkpoint. The dogs are checked at every checkpoint to make sure everyone's healthy. Mushers keep detailed logs of when the dogs eat and drink. They also do comprehensive exams, including EEGs, on every dog prior to the race. The Iditarod vets also care for dogs in the villages along the race route. And then Alaskan Huskies were bred to run. If you've ever seen the dogs at the start of a race, they're literally jumping for joy and raring to go. Just like a corgi wants to herd or my hound wants to sniff out every treat in this house, sled dogs live to run.
Makes total sense.
Next question. Next question is, what do the dogs eat? They have kibble and meat that the mushers send along at each checkpoint. The dogs have to eat so much food to keep up with all the running and stay healthy. They also will often get food heated up with water in a kind of soup-based mixture to help with extra hydration.
Us sponsoring a checkpoint helps to provide stuff like that to the dogs.
We are here providing puppy soup.
Puppy soup.
And frozen pizza.
No,
Hell
not,
yeah.
okay, let's be very clear where puppy, the adjective that puppy
Soup
is describing
for
there.
puppies.
Thank you.
Soup
Thank
for
you.
puppies. Not soup made out of puppies. Not a
No.
thing we're interested in
No.
providing.
This is not a duck
Soylent
soup.
puppies. No.
Can you imagine
next-
how many calories a day you'd have to take in doing this thing?
Oh yeah.
Like that
It's-
number would have to be
Well, because they have high
10,000
performance kibble
plus.
that they and the vets have basically. Well, that's it
Yes.
too. Like they have just like a bunch of food that they've just freeze dried and like vacuum sealed.
Yeah.
So a lot
Oh,
of it
God.
sometimes is just
I
a
love-
slice of pizza.
I love
ice cream.
that it's
Yeah.
like high performance kibble. Like
Well, it is because like, so a lot of the things that people learn on the Iditarod for dog care actually like make it into actual dog care.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, so
veterinary
it's the
things.
training ground.
We'll talk about that a little more, but
this is kind of like the Goodyear tires being run at Indy 500 makes our way
right,
to
or
like our
your
normal tire.
Pirelli
Indy
tires in
500 is cars
F1.
done.
I would say this is F1. This is dog F1.
Okay. Dog F1.
This is your hybrid engine. So next question, very important
Formula
question.
rough.
Oh my god. Important question is, can you pet that dog?
Not the dog petting. Dog petting is always a good idea.
No.
That's it.
Dog petting is your 3. The answer being sometimes. Sometimes you can pet that dog.
Sometimes.
The best way to pet that dog is to visit a kennel. Lots of mushers have tours they run with their dogs, and they're not just in Alaska. Pretty much anywhere it's snowy, you can find a kennel. Pretty much. Go find one. Go pet some dogs. Another question. Can we guarantee another moose incident? To which I say that anything is possible if you believe hard enough.
It's rule 40. It's rule 42, right?
Rule 42.
It's rule 42 in the Musher Handbook. Is that
Hang on.
if you accidentally hit a moose?
No, it's rule 34.
Rule 34. Yeah.
It's rule 34. Yeah.
Sorry,
Unfortunately,
it
is the internet's horniest rule.
Yeah.
But it's also for mooses in the
you gotta field dress your moose.
But not like that.
Not like that, no.
Iditarod Rule 34 is not the same as Internet Rule 34.
Definitely not. No,
you gotta stuff that moose. Rule 34 says you gotta stuff that moose.
Oh
Jordan.
My God.
Oh no, disaster. What a bad idea.
Every time.
Of course, for his jokes, it's a 3-pointer.
Last year, listeners, there was an incident with a moose. The moose became angry, came close to some of the dogs, and one of the mushers punched the moose.
And then the next musher had to take the moose out.
Right, and then after that, there's literally a rule because having carcasses on the trail is bad for attracting predators and other things.
Yes.
So you have to literally stop mushing and help anyone you come across field dress and take care of any large animals you take down.
Yes. The person that actually had to take out the moose and field dress the moose did get a penalty last year, but they still wound up winning the race. Mm-hmm. So it was a good luck moose.
Yeah, he made an incredible comeback after that penalty.
Yeah.
Speaking of moose punching, we got asked who punched the moose. The answer being Jesse Holmes, your 3rd place finisher from last year.
Of all the things, like I get that it was just oh shit, gotta do something. But moose skulls gotta be hard.
Oh yeah.
Well, I feel
they're megaflora. They're
you fuck up your hand, like you break your hand real good on that.
So we definitely talked about this last year during the moose punching incident. Right. Moose are really big. Like they are big enough that the commonly accepted wisdom, if you are driving on the road in a rural area similar to the one in which I grew up, and you encounter a white-tailed deer, that you are better off to hit the deer because they're not that big and they're not going to it's safer to hit the deer than it is to hit the moose. Moose, you should not do this with because
you turn around and get as far away as
you should. Yes, because they are big and very heavy and tall enough that the bulk of their body is going to go through the windshield of your car and smash your face.
And they can go very fast, despite what you might think.
Yeah, do not fuck with moose.
God.
Just think about a moose as like a literal monster truck.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you see the monster truck,
the moose.
Imagine the moose getting those air horns.
El Muso Loco.
Muso Loco.
Is that how you say it in Spanish? Muso.
I discovered that you can't explain. Yeah, I don't know. I had to try to explain what a moose was to my friends when I lived in Asia when we do like moose ears and photos. And they're like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, you have no idea what a moose is, do you?"
Spanish for moose is alce, by the way. Alce.
Alce Loco.
Learned something new today.
That's right. We learned Spanish.
We're learning lots of Spanish today.
We are.
Other questions?
It's the same word as elk.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Well, the word for moose in Norwegian is elg.
Mm.
So there you go.
Cool.
How many vets are on the trail? There are 40 vets stationed along the trail. What is the most common injury is orthopedic. Injuries are most common wrist or shoulder, followed by gastrointestinal or cardiorespiratory. This doesn't come from the Iditarod. I found a study done by Colorado State and University of Alaska Fairbanks during the Yukon Quest between 2018 and 2023. It's very neat. Dogs can also be dropped off if a female is coming into heat or a dog is just kind of done. Return dogs are given different colored tags based on the level of care that they need. Red is severe life-threatening injuries, needs immediate attention. High blue is needs medication and attention. Could escalate to red. Low blue needs meds but is stable. White is healthy but are likely tired and just need some rest. Dogs are then flown from the takeoff checkpoint to Anchorage, McGrath, or Unalakleet for medical clearance, then on to Anchorage to eventually be returned home after the race. Last question is on climate change. The quick answer is yes, temperatures are obviously increasing. Lack of snowpack and melting of permafrost and sea ice is a huge problem. Mushers, climatologists, and previously the EPA were working to make sure the sport can continue. This year's change to a Fairbanks start shows that there's plans in place, but as temperatures continue to climb, it may change the Iditarod as we know it.
I just want to say about like dog substitutions, like when they have to make the subs for the dogs, like the dogs can't tap their head and say they need a sub. So the vets along the route are very key, and so each checkpoint and each vet they check everything. So like these dogs,
they go up and down with the dogs. They will talk with the mushers, like what do you see in if someone's like, hey, I need a second set of eyes on this. But the mushers are also very in tune with each of their dogs. Like they know their dogs real well. And the vets are also there to help offer advice, make sure everybody's doing good. They take they take it very seriously. They really, really do.
This is something that's like this route this year is kind of one of the longest versions of that they run. And what they prepared for on the southern route was like 972 miles. This is basically added like 200 miles to the route just due to the snow conditions in the southern route. So this basically, we hope everything goes well for everybody. And the checkpoint that we sponsor is kind of like a key, because you come back to it and then it's basically you go down one way and you come right back to it to go and finish off the route based off of the changes. So it's kind of the hub of the race towards the end of it, like in the middle and then towards the end. Basically, you hit this checkpoint and you're turning for home with a few checkpoints left to go.
Now, Bridget,
yes,
we already sponsored Millie Porslid. I got that. Porslid.
Sold.
Yes.
But we're going to be doing something else, aren't we?
Yes. So my plan is that Discord members can vote on another musher to sponsor, and we will be streaming on Twitch on tentatively Friday evening for you to have time to listen to this and us time to prepare.
Yeah.
We will be streaming to raise money for a second, possibly even a third musher. So we'll put up a poll. You can vote on who we will sponsor, and we'll try to get them some funds before the start of the race. Plan is to probably stream American Truck Simulator and drive through Big Sky Country. All of the Big Sky.
Nice.
That sounds good.
Stay tuned to our Twitch. If you don't subscribe to our Twitch, just go ahead and do it. It's free, so just join on in.
And then, go ahead, Figgirl.
And Bridget, remind us when the race starts and how we can watch.
You can watch on Iditarod.com. I believe it was free to watch the ceremonial start. March 1st, 10 o'clock Alaska Standard Time, which is about an hour behind Pacific Standard Time. And then the official restart will be March 3rd at 11 o'clock in the morning. In Fairbanks, I believe you need to be an insider to watch that.
Insider subscriptions are, let's see here, looking at the price. I think you can get the
They're
whole thing.
They're very reasonable for what you get. They're
you
about $40 a year.
Yeah, 40, and gets you the GPS tracker. And you can get email.
You get to choose which mushers you want. They will send you email updates every day about who's where. You can just watch live streaming of dogs running all the time. They have lots of cool videos. Definitely worth your money if you're interested in dogs and you want to know more about the Iditarod.
Love to see it. Let's talk about yet another method of transportation. Kamish?
Oh, yeah.
Do we have a conductor?
Welcome to our transportation podcast.
We're talking about transportation.
So I don't have train sound, but I do have the Quiet Storm.
Oh. No, Corvallis Love is not involved in this one.
Okay, fine.
So I'm gonna plug this in here.
Okay, hold on. Then here I got some more music. See if this works for here.
Okay.
Conductor series previewing some trains.
Totally.
Okay, I like that. Done. That's our
All right.
that's our new
Right.
theme song.
Oh no.
It's the Conductor series. We're
Right.
previewing some trains.
Yeah. So this one, I think I have to. It's a bold claim, but I'm gonna say it. I think this team that I'm gonna talk about on the Conductor series is the most sickos team of all time. This is an incredibly bold claim.
They
this
played
is a bold claim.
they played in the game. We'll get to it.
They played in the sickos game of all time. So I'm going to tell you what led up to that sickos game of all time, because it was 3 straight that they did this. 3 straight that they took train trips to all of these games. 2 of them were on one train trip, and then the other one was on its lonesome train trip, which resulted in probably the sickos game of all time. So the circumstances here, I just threw this in the podcast thing if you want to follow along with that. You ready? It's the Conductor series. I'm gonna just go ahead and just leap right into this. The 1939 Texas Tech Red Raiders. They finished the year. I'm just gonna say this. They finished the year 5-5-1. They were 2-1 in the Border Conference. They finished third in the Border Conference.
With 2-1?
Yes.
God, I love old conferences. Hell yeah.
Right. They are the team that played 3 games. The only other team that played 3 games in this conference was Arizona. They were 1-2. So I just want to just like give you a rundown of what Texas Tech season was like before they got to this point that they decided to take train trips on. So they opened the year at Texas Mines, which was UTEP. They lost the game 7-2. They only scored a safety.
Hey,
So they're 0-1. Then they played Texas Wesleyan back home in Lubbock. They won 30-0. Back home, they welcomed Gonzaga again. They won 6-0. I'm sorry, they lost 6-0. I apologize.
That's a long ass Gonzaga trip. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Gonzaga. Again, I'm going to look at Gonzaga in the future. They played Arizona State Flagstaff, which is now NAU. They won 54-0. And then before their trip, they played the New Mexico Lobos. The New Mexico Lobos were undefeated at the time. They were 4-0, making national news. And the Texas Tech Red Raiders took them out 19-7.
Oh.
So now Texas Tech 4-2 on the year. Essentially, this is going to be their first big road trip. They played at UTEP, but, that's El Paso to Lubbock. Not too bad.
Considering what you're about to say, yes, that's not too bad. Normally, that distance is like the worst distance possible, but yes, go ahead.
Yeah, El Paso to Lubbock, not that bad compared to what I'm about to say and what they're about to do here. So, they are about to get on the rails and go to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to take on the number 11 Duquesne Dukes.
Why would you do that? Why? Texas Tech, why?
Wait, there is more, I promise you, here for the 1939. Again, I've made the statement that they're probably the most sickos team of all time. This is just the beginning. Just the beginning, folks. Just the beginning. So they take the trip to Duquesne. Now, Duquesne, the week before, Duquesne just knocked off number 1 Pitt.
Of course.
In Pitt Stadium, 21-13. Took down the Panthers. Took them down.
Yeah.
Now, all right. So now Texas Tech is like, hey, we got to get on the train, boys. We're going from Lubbock and we're gonna go to Kansas City, and then we're gonna practice in Kansas City. So they go Lubbock. The rails. I have an old map. Let me see if I can find that real quick. I have an old rail map from where they went. I'm gonna throw that into the podcast chat and just give no context to everybody here. But go right ahead. If you look at that, the Lubbock line would basically take you in to Kansas. You would go up to Amarillo to Kansas, and then once you're in Kansas, you get up to Kansas City. There is a couple of different paths that you could take, maybe like 5 or 6 different paths, because
This is real ticket to ride shit. I love it.
This is incredible, the different paths that they could have possibly taken here to get to KC. Now, this is a one-day trip to KC. They are going to stop in KC in Kansas City, and they are going to play. They're going to practice. So the Texas Tech Red Raiders en route to Pittsburgh, where they will meet the Duquesne University on Friday night, basically 6 days after they played New Mexico. The Raiders,
too. Oh God,
short week too. That's right. They engaged in a bruising battle against New Mexico University Saturday night, but Coach Pete Cawthorn expects his regular to be ready for the Dukes, the conqueror of Pitt last week. By the way, just as a note, we discussed this
I bet on that dude's tombstone, Conqueror of Pitt is on there. Would almost guarantee it.
So this is the last time that Duquesne played Pitt. By the way, was 1939.
Until this year.
So
coming soon to
again, we're
Pittsburgh
tying circles up here on the Sickos Committee podcast. So we are going that way. They're going to take the Eastern Jaunt. I have like a map of them taking this Eastern Jaunt. I'm in the wrong thing here. But there's a couple of different maps. I have plenty more. I actually have just like the entire like map thing. You can look at all the routes and everything like that. So they go KC to Pittsburgh. They arrive in Pittsburgh on the 25th. Meanwhile, the Pittsburgh paper, there's a couple of different Pitt papers that are just like, the scourge of the Texas Plains is limping here for the Dukes. This is by Claire M. Berkey. Providing he can find 11 able-bodied men on his squad, Coach Pete Cawthorn will pit his Texas Tech Red Raiders against the Duquesne Dukes Friday night in Pittsburgh at Forbes Field.
Oh,
yeah, historic field. But from the hospital list following a 19-7 victory Saturday over the New Mexico, Cawthorn will have trouble finding his men. Alas and alack, the scourge of the West Texas Plains en route to Pittsburgh may nave to cancel its game with the Dukes. Obviously, Coach Cawthorn won't put 9 or 10 man team on the field, and there is a likelihood that the Dukes will consider at this late date a game of this modern streamlined 6-man football.
Oh, hell yeah. Let's break out a 6-man game.
I know. So this is what Coach Cawthorn said. It says, we took a physical beating from New Mexico, but they won this game 19-7. My sophomore backs made 2 mistakes, and one cost us a touchdown. Our open field blocking was none too good. It must improve, or we can't hope to beat Duquesne.
No coach would ever talk like this nowadays, by the way. Be like, oh, yeah, no, we're fucked. We're turbo fucked.
No, but the like, oh, my players fucked up.
Oh, that's
we have seen that.
Yeah, that's absolutely 100%.
We do see that.
But for some reason in my mind, all his players are like look like they're 80. So I don't mind him bitching at them as opposed to like kids.
Yes. Yeah. It's just, again, there's a part in the article that says Mr. Calhoun is some kicker. There. It begins to look like there will be a game after all. Our kicking improved with Charles Calhoun averaging 44 yards on each punt. Continued Cawthorn's comments. However, Calhoun is not suffering from a torn up leg. I'm not sure he'll be able to play. I'm sorry, he is suffering.
He is suffering.
Sorry, apologize. I'm not sure he'll be able to play at Pittsburgh. Texas Tech's backs have hit their stride and look better than our line. We have 2 sets of trying sophomore backs, CL Stores and EJ McKnight. So they're ready to go. Like one had a really bad eye gash, but they're ready to go. The fun thing is if you scroll a little bit down on that, this is the Pittsburgh Press Sports. And this is like an image of the radio speaking about Texas Tech coming to Pittsburgh. And so the radio is saying
There's
this stuff in like
so much going on here.
So this is like basically it's like the Pittsburgh press is like giving Texas Tech a lot of pub, like intimidating Duquesne. Like Duquesne just beat number 1 Pitt, but like the papers seem to be like for Pitt, and there's like, how did Duquesne beat Pitt? Because they keep hyping up Texas Tech. They're doing this as like Texas Tech backs are all triple threaders. Sorry. Red Raiders veteran line averages 195 pounds. They gain more than 2,000 yards in 5 games. Big Bill Davis, 220-pound tackle, and Holt Waldrop, giant guard, surefire All-Americans. And so they have a cartoon drawing of the coach, Donnelly, for Duquesne. It says, "Holy smoke, thought those horror skits were to be banned." And then there's like a kid of that is labeled the Dukes. It says, "G-pop, I'm all full of goose pimples."
So I have a homework assignment for Jordan.
Okay.
And that is that I am going to need him to Photoshop the Sickos guy pressed up to the window,
Okay.
like into the upper corner of
Into
this
this?
comic,
Okay.
where it's not quite square.
Okay. Like in the upper corner where I can get it without it highlighted, but
Yeah, where the other article sort of cuts into it. We
Yes.
can just put the Sickos guy up there. He's watching all this happen.
So what I want to let you know about this before the game occurs against Duquesne. The plan for this Texas Tech trip, when they get to KC and they practice, the plan for it is that they were going to leave Lubbock, get to KC, then en route to Pittsburgh. Friday night engagement against the undefeated Duquesne Dukes. The Raiders will work out in Kansas City the day before, which I just mentioned. After that, their itinerary includes Chicago, Pittsburgh, New York. So basically, they go KC, Chicago, Pittsburgh, then New York, then Jacksonville.
What?
I'll get to that in just a sec. So we'll go from here.
Okay.
So they get to Pittsburgh and they play Duquesne. Duquesne in a muddy field, incredibly muddy field. They out-muddied Texas Tech and they won the game 13-0 in heavy rain. After a stalemated first quarter, Coach Donnelly, brother of Duquesne's head coach, Buff Donnelly, scored it across the quaggy gridiron for 35 yards and a score. John Musicki.
Quaggy. We don't use quaggy anymore.
I know.
Yeah,
we
I
got to
like
do that. He then converted the kick to give the hometowners a 7-0 lead, with both 11s playing cautiously, kicking on second downs. So Texas Tech starts to punt early because of the muddy field here. Midway in the last period, Duquesne returned a punt to Tech's 21 on reverses, first to the left, then to the right. They scored another touchdown, and then the point after the touchdown was missed. So basically, they got shut out. Texas Tech got shut out. Duquesne wins 13-0. Duquesne wins this game, and they go undefeated, 8-0-1 on the year. So just giving a shout out to them. They were listed as number 10 in the AP poll. But honestly, claim a national title, Duquesne. Just do it.
Really?
Just do it. 10-0. You beat number 1 Pitt. That's all you need.
I mean, that's enough, I think.
Claim it.
That is the official editorial position of this podcast.
Name it and claim it.
Claim it, Duquesne. Like they beat Texas Tech. They got to number 11. They beat Marquette. They beat NC State. They beat Carnegie Tech. They did tie in their last game against Detroit, but
whatever.
Again, whatever.
I guarantee you that Alabama is claiming at least one championship on thinner evidence.
Claim it,
at
Duquesne.
least.
Claim it, Duquesne. Just do it. You're number 10. Do it. I don't care. Nobody selects you, whatever. So Texas Tech gets shut out. Then on this trip, instead of going back home, back to Lubbock, and going to their next game, they decided to go to New York City. I don't know why they wanted to go to New York City, because their next opponent was Miami.
Jesus.
The Hurricanes in Florida.
Now, Kamish, you've never played the game Ticket to Ride, the board game. I'm gonna tell you right now that this is not a ticket I would take.
No, this is not a great connection. I'm also just sort of questioning, like, so these football players are allegedly students, right?
Student
Yes.
athletes, yes.
Student athletes. How exactly did the school part of this work?
No idea.
Didn't come here
We're doing correspondence courses in longhand
To
and
Lubbock.
mailing them
to Lubbock.
and mailing it back to Lubbock. Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. Do they have the Pony Express? I have no idea how they're getting their
No,
assignments.
that was
back.
SMU that had the Pony Express.
Sure.
They got shut down for that.
I
Yeah.
mean, what was the Red Raider? The Matador? They just had the Matador come out.
Oh yes.
With the train. But I don't understand this train route. Like they go from Pittsburgh to New York. It doesn't make any sense. You go Pitt to Philly across the state, and then you go south to Jacksonville.
Mhm.
It makes sense. I don't know why they went to New York. Was it just like, hey, they went
Catch a show.
They're from Lubbock.
Pizza?
Hey, they had to go.
Might as well while we're here.
Are there
Yeah.
any shows in New York in 1939 that we could have known that the Red Raiders could have caught on Broadway?
Broadway wasn't really a thing in 39. It sort of was. It would be more of like reviews and shit like that. No clue.
Yeah. So I have no idea why they went there. It was like, hey, let's go see the Big Apple from Lubbock. That's all I could find. I could not find any newspaper articles on why the hell they went to New York. Except like they're going to New York. So their next game is against Miami. Now
Prehistoric Miami.
Historic Miami, the Miami Hurricanes, right? Instead of going like straight there, they go to New York and they go up, and then they just basically take the rails down the East Coast, like hitting Philly, Baltimore, whatever down the line, like Charlotte, like all the rails all the way down, and they stop in Jacksonville. The fun part of this one is that they decided to stay in Jacksonville for 3 days.
I mean, it makes sense because like Miami was barely anything in 1939. Like the city itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Jacksonville's the last stop.
Jacksonville, the last bastion of civilization in Florida.
Can I say real fast at the Texas Tech has workout at Jax? There's
Yeah.
something in the paragraph here that's interesting for you, Pit Girl.
Mm-hmm.
On a trip that included all these things, the Texans aren't being allowed to neglect their academics.
That's
Professor H.F. Goodkey is accompanying the team as instructor.
Ooh, cool. It's
No,
like
the
semester at sea, but on a train.
right. So then we're gonna spend this. I love this is like the first. Like people say, like, "Hey, we're going to the city," and now it's a business trip. Oh, they said this in 1939. Coach Pete Cawthorn summoned his Texas Tech footballers to the final workout of their 3-day stopover here and made it known they were down here to win a football game, not to see the sights of Miami. They play the Miami Hurricanes on Friday night. That's 2 Friday night games back to back with all these train trips. It's ridiculous. The Lubbock, Texas 11 will entrain for Miami tomorrow morning on a trip that has included Kansas City, Chicago, Pittsburgh, New York, Washington, D.C. The Texans aren't being allowed to neglect their academics. Professor H.F. Godkey is accompanying the team as an instructor. We have them where they can't get out of studying on a trip.
They're here to play school.
When they're home, we don't know what they do with their books, except that most of the boys get pretty good grades in school.
That's okay.
I feel like that's a load bearing most.
Yeah.
Just most of them. Cawthorn is taking a squad of 28 Husky players to Miami for the game. Rugged and fast, they presented a snappy appearance in their workout yesterday in the first cool snap of the year in Jacksonville on November 1st. So they go down to Miami. Now the Miami papers were just like, Texas Tech 8-5 favorite to win over Miami. Miami beach to hurl aerials at South Broward this afternoon at Flamingo Park. There's more. It's like Texas Tech in Florida. They took advantage of the cool snap here for a brisk workout in preparation for the game at Miami Friday night. There's also the cartoon that I love the most. It's just like, just a Halloween bugaboo, we hope. And it's like it's like a boogeyman over the fence. Texas Tech.
It's really good.
Ah. And then there's a Miami
this is
Hurricane
really
player.
good.
Miami Hurricane player is like, shucks, I'm not afraid. So
The Halloween bugaboo listener is, what if Texas Tech was the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, but with an angry face?
yes. It's ridiculous, and I love this so much. The ad was like, football Friday night 8:15 Orange Bowl. See University of Miami Hurricanes battle the air-minded Red Raiders of Texas Tech. Obtain your tickets.
By air-minded, I guarantee you they mean they pass like 10 yards a game.
There's like, hey, we're gonna pass. If you wanted tickets for this game in 1939, center reserve seats were $2.25. General admission, $1. You want bleachers, 50 cents.
And listener, for reference, $1 in 1939 is $32.09 today.
Okay, perfect.
So not bad.
So I just want to say this here. Texas Tech on this trip has had like horrible weather luck. And guess what? In Miami, it rains again.
God,
it's just like in Miami, Tech was whitewashed with the mud in a second straight Saturday. This time, the sweeping hurricane of Miami University played alert, hard-hitting football. The Floridians
this makes
had
the next
control
game
all the
seem
way.
so much more tragic then. Oh God. Sorry, keep going.
Again, we're setting up for the finale here.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Again, this is why I've said the most sickos team of all time.
Yeah, you might be right.
All right. The Tech made just one serious threat in the late game, but an intercepted pass on the goal line marred their scoring chances. McKnight, Dodd, and Hill carried the attack for the Big Reds, but were unable to reach pay mud, not pay dirt.
I like that.
That's good. I like that.
Pay mud through the inspired opponent's line. So this is the second stop on the train trip. They lost 19-0. They have not scored any points on this train trip.
Oh, that's rough, buddy. I would like to issue a brief correction.
Okay.
I neglected to update the year. $1 in 1939 is $22.85 in 2025 money.
Okay,
so
good deal.
How much is that in Vietnamese dongs?
How much is $22.85 in Vietnamese dong? Let's find out, shall we?
Let's do that.
Billions and billions of dong.
It's probably like a couple $100,000.
Convert
to Vietnamese dong.
All right, it is 583,132 Vietnamese dong.
What? Not bad.
Okay. So this is they're 0-2. They haven't scored any points. So on the train trip, they go all the way back home, back to Lubbock. They go back to Lubbock. And this is the article. It says, and then back home long enough to change socks.
Oh no.
And then
leave for Shreveport to play Centenary on November 11th.
Oh no.
The trip will cover 6,000 miles.
Oh no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
And if you don't know the 1939 Texas Tech and Centenary game, if you don't know, we got a podcast just for that game.
Oh, I can't believe they go to that.
Yeah.
Every podcast is someone's first.
Okay. So,
gentle listener, we have a formerly paywalled episode about the 1939 Texas Tech Centenary game, in which Kamish and Beth do a dramatic reading of the drive chart.
Yes.
Because there were 77 combined punts.
Sorry. So this is, if you look at the 1939 Wikipedia of the Texas Tech Red Raiders game, they don't mention any of these train trips to Duquesne or Miami. They mention the one game that they played against Centenary, which was 0-0. So again, on these train trips that Texas Tech took, they didn't score a damn thing. They scored nothing. Didn't score a damn thing. Now, when they got back home, they lost to Marquette. They beat Montana, and they went to New Orleans and they beat Loyola, the Wolfpack, to finish the year 5-5-1, which is a sicko's record to begin with, because it's incredible, ridiculous. But if you look at the 1939 Wikipedia page for Texas Tech Red Raiders, it says the game was played in a torrential downpour. So 3 games in a row, 3 rain games that led to muddy field conditions that prevented from either team effectively running or passing the ball. To cope with poor conditions, teams resorted to punting in hopes of recovering a turnover on the other end of the field. Both teams combined for 77 punts, 39 for Texas Tech, 38 for Centenary. 67 of those 77 punts occurred on first down.
Jeez.
42
Art.
punts were
It's
returned.
art.
42 punts were returned, 19 went out of bounds, 10 were downed, and 1 went into the end zone with a touchback. 4 punts were blocked, and 1 was fair caught. The gentlemen managed to finish with 31 so Centenary managed to finish with 31 yards of total offense, while the Red Raiders' total offense finished with a 1-yard loss.
Jesus.
Texas Tech punter Charlie Calhoun, who we mentioned earlier in this episode.
Yes.
He's a really great punter. He punted the ball 36 times for 1,318 yards. Both records still stand with the NCAA. Most punts and most yards for a punter.
In a single game.
In a single
One game.
So, if you
Oh,
wanted to
God.
mate me on the most sickos team of all time,
I think you might have it. I think you might, Kamish.
I've definitely said this before about this game too, but 1,318 yards is most of a mile.
That's right. It is. Oh, God. They did all that traveling, and they're like, okay, just one more trip.
it was one
Then
more
I get
trip
to
to
go home.
Shreveport.
I get to see my girlfriend. I get to go home and take a shower, and I'll see my girlfriend. And like this whole thing, this sucked. We played in the rain twice. It's fine though, because we're just gonna go to Shreveport. We're gonna beat this school, who is this tiny little school.
Yeah.
It's fine. We can
fine.
just do this. We've had an okay season. It's okay. And then, Christ Almighty.
Centenary at the time of the game was winless.
Yeah.
Hey, we're just going to go play
They ended the game
team.
winless too.
They were winless. They ended it winless, and then they lost to Baylor the next week. Then they beat Southwestern Tennessee, and then the Centenary Gentlemen, the 1939 Centenary Gentlemen, beat Louisiana Tech 19-0. So,
Jesus. Kamish, thank you for taking us on the rails on that trip. Folks, that's all we have time for tonight. We will see you on the other side.
3